Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of I.t.y.g. And yeah, what a wild trip it has been. Little update. I'm now in Jamaica. Yeah. On the island where Bob Marley was born, Jimmy Cliff, Garnett Silk, all the legends of reggae, Dennis Brown. I'm so excited to be here. Meeting with some locals already. It's only been a few hours and everyone's giving me so much love. Everyone's telling me respect. Yeah, they got a good friendly vibes down here in Jamaica. I'm excited to get some insights and some interviews with some fun, cool local Jamaicans. Stay tuned for those episodes. Hopefully that could happen. This week's episode is all about dreams and the history of dreaming and how to improve your dream state, how to practice lucid dreaming, and just all the things that you need to know about dreaming. I've done a lot of experiments in the dream world. That's definitely turned out well for me. So, yeah. So, dreaming. We have so much to first understand about the brain in order to start talking about dreaming. So, in the brain, when you lay down and go to sleep, the first instinct is not to just start dreaming. It's to first relax. So your brain goes through 4 levels of sleep. We have a really first light sleep where you can still kind of wake up very, very easily. And then if you can relax your brain even more, you'll get into a middle range sleep, not too deep, but where your body can still your brain can start cleaning out data that it doesn't need and processing the day's work. That's kind of the function of sleeping is to help your brain process everything that's happened that day, and especially if you're learning. And then if you get down a little bit deeper into sleep, then that's like a heavy sleep, but you're still not dreaming yet. That's just a heavy sleep. And that's when a lot of your metabolism slows. Everything just kind of gets really calm in your body. And then there's one level deeper, and that's the deepest sleep that we have, and that's the REM sleep. And they call it REM sleep, stands for rapid eye movement, and because your eyes will actually twitch beneath your eyelids, and you can see someone visually. If they're in a really, really deep sleep, then they'll be their eyes will be twitching. That's one cue. But also in the REM sleep is where we have dreams. And so when you're in a really deep dream state, your brain is releasing DMT. And so we know that that's a super potent psychedelic, and so your brain is releasing this for short periods of time during REM sleep. So that's kind of a little idea and background into why dreams happen. And if you're not having dreams on a regular basis, it's just because your stress levels are too high. And you're also telling yourself when you go to sleep that you don't have dreams. So you're kind of prepping your mind already before it even has a chance to stay in this heightened state of awareness, this more stressed state of mind. So there's been a lot of different perspectives on dreaming throughout history. The current view of dreaming for a lot of people is that it's useless information that happens as a kind of 200 picture like painting, and then your brain just like shoves it all into one, and it kind of doesn't really make sense, and there's no real purpose. It's just kind of like an artifact of the brain. But throughout history, there's been many different types of philosophies on dreaming, and way back in the day, in India, they used to think that dreaming was like a portal into another dimension that you can visit and like live a whole life there. Other cultures throughout North America, I know, they had dreaming tribes where that was like their focus, was to dream really well and to be avid dreamers and to be able to try and project onto relatives, try to talk to loved ones, try to talk to ancestors, also trying to like suspend time in the dream state and get work done on when it comes to tribal matters or peace talks with other tribes. They would really try to use the dream state as a means, as a tool for spiritual development, not just this modern view of it being useless. So I really resonate more with the idea that it's a tool, and when we can use dreaming to like understand ourselves and to gain a deeper insight about our world. And so I've tried to really study dreaming and really get better at lucid dreaming and trying to take control of your dreams and to try to just get better at remembering them, because even that is like really difficult. We have a lot of people that have used dreams in the past, such as Albert Einstein. He said that he dreamt up his famous equations for relativity. He just fell asleep at the where was he? He was working at the for the patent office, where they sign the documents to say your idea is yours and it's protected, patent. So he worked at the patent office, and he fell asleep, and he woke up, and he just like it came to him in this like flood of information, and he had to write it all down. And it took him 3 days, but he got it out, and so it was used by many mathematicians in the past to come up with these formulas that we still use today to kind of, like I said, kind of spend time and like work the math out and just spend time and time and time just crunching numbers. And to think of a dream like where you would be doing math, like some of you, that might sound like a nightmare, but for this guy, this was his life's work, and he wanted to change the world, and he did. And, I don't remember his name, but he was a great Indian mathematician. And so one of the things that I've done to make dreaming better for me is I practiced the Uberman sleep cycle. And if you remember from the previous episode, the Uberman is a type of So, sorry about that. Back to talking about different types of sleep. I was talking about the Uberman, and that's where you fall asleep 6 times a day for 20 minutes each time. So you add all that up, and it equals only 2 hours of sleep. But in that 2 hours of sleep, since your body kind of like really demands deep sleep for the like maximum benefits of sleep, your body will force you into REM sleep, and so you'll get actually more REM sleep doing 2 hours of sleep than you would if you only slept, say, 8 hours, and in that 8 hours you only dipped into your deep sleep for maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes. So you weren't able to get as productive of sleep as if you had forced your body into REM sleep using, it's called polyphasic. It's called when you sleep multiple times in one day. And so, yeah, I experimented with that. Holy moly. I really benefited a lot. I had so much more energy. I was able to learn so much faster. I was really in love with that. The only reason I stopped doing it was just because society as a whole isn't doing that, and so you have to function at like a very odd tempo from everyone else in society. And so it was just, I did it just to like kind of observe my brain and see some of the benefits, but it overall didn't just like fit into my lifestyle, and I wasn't able to really shift things around to make it work for too much longer than that 30 days. But it is good if you can kind of, try to get a good schedule going where you sleep 6 times a day for 20 minutes. Highly recommend trying it out. The first week is a little challenging because your body has to kind of get used to the extra hours. But after that first week, it's like piece of cake. Naps come naturally. And the dream state, that's what this episode's all about. So the dream state during these multiple sleep cycles are extremely enhanced. They're so much more vivid because your brain is like concentrating, 20 minutes of DMT and REM sleep all into like one short interval, versus when it kind of dips in and out of deep sleep and REM sleep and medium sleep and light sleep. So yeah, it's really, really, really awesome. Also, dream journaling. If you have a journal and you can dedicate it to dreaming, and you can like open it up first thing in the morning, right away, like any ideas, couple sentences, brief imagery at first of what was going on in your dream, and then the more that you practice and the more time that you put into dream journaling, then your dreams will become more and more and more and more vivid, and you'll be able to like really control and recognize, oh, okay, now I'm in a dream, and I can start to kind of play with it. But the trick is to not be like surprised, because if you like get too surprised in your dream, then you kind of will like jolt your body awake. So you have to kind of just recognize but remain calm, and then have fun, play with it, go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Dreams are a powerful place, but they're mostly for observation. I noticed, I feel like a lot of when I try to over engage in the dream, then my brain will be like, oh, you're not dreaming, and it gets too like logical. So you have to be able to balance that and just observe the dream world overall, but play with it. A huge one is just, if you want to be a better dreamer, is just tell yourself out loud, like, I will remember my dreams. Because if you're not familiar with dreaming, that's probably what you say all the time is, oh, I never dream. Oh, I wish I could start dreaming more. Or you don't even think about dreams. But we can really benefit from dreams, even if it's just like a playground experience, and it's just a heightened dopamine. That's a beneficial tool. Napping is huge. Even if you can only take one nap, say you work in the morning, and then you get home right before lunch. If you just take a little 20-minute nap, 30 minutes at the most, in that amount of time, you'll definitely have a dream. And then you wake up and you eat some lunch. Like, that's a good cycle to get into, rather than like eating and then sleeping, or eating and then like going out, or being really busy, or even just like sitting and watching a TV show. Like, you can sacrifice that time for a nap, and your body will have more longevity. You'll be better able to learn. You'll be less stressed out. And then the reason that you want to nap and then eat is because if you eat and then nap, then like your body's metabolism is slower, and so you're not going to be able to digest that food as well, and you're going to get actually less nutrients from that meal. So it's better to nap and then eat. One little trick to sleeping, if you want to kind of hack your brain, is to set the snooze on your alarm for, like, if you say you have to get up and ready for work at 7 o'clock in the morning, is to set the alarm for like 6:45, right? Wake up and then snooze for 15 minutes, and in that little gap of time, if you're able to like just quickly just fall back asleep, like not really move too much, just hit the snooze and then get up at 7, in that little 15-minute period, you'll be able to have a full-on dream if you didn't get a dream before. Because what happens is the break in sleep, the shift in consciousness, will trick your body into like demanding a deep sleep, like right at the end of the cycle. So it's just like a little body hack to confuse your brain really quick to get it right into deep sleep. Because a lot of the times we'll be like our bodies get into a cycle, and so if it's in, then it'll change the pattern at the end. So it's hard to explain without like showing you the charts, but you don't need the charts. You just gotta trust me. This practice definitely works. Now I'll just like share with you some of my favorite lucid dreams. So I think my all-time favorite lucid dream has to be I was dreaming that I was walking through this like small town, and I had this urge that like I was on this way to a party. So I was like, okay, like I'm on my way to a party, so I'm just gonna keep heading straight. And I know there's a shortcut over here through the skate park. And so I walked past the skate park, and there's all these people skating, mostly kids, younger, and it's like packed. And they're skating not so good. They're still learning. There's no one really like better than anybody else. And I walked past the skate park through the end where it's like kind of hidden, and there's people back there, and there are a couple older kids, maybe 16, 17, and they're like smoking weed, but they're like really shy about it, and they're like not trying to like get caught. You can tell that they're just like kind of in the down low. So I walked past them, and right on the other side of the park is where the party was. So I get to the house party, and it's like this super fun pool party, and there's like all kinds of bathing suits and people having a good time. But this house is like really nice. It's like a 2-story house, and I get there and I walk in and I see everyone, and this guy, he's like talking it up to his friends. I could overhear it, and he's like, yeah man, I can't wait to go to school. I can't wait to start studying physics, and I'm trying to understand this whole world. And I was like, yeah, I like was encouraging him. I was like, yeah, man, do it. And up at the stairs at the top, I see this little like kind of trickster looking character. Kind of has like a top hat on, kind of like a smaller, kind of like a child. And he's like giving me like the like come hither motion, and he's like, come on, follow me. He doesn't say anything, but he just like gives me that look. And so I'm like, all right. And I walk up the stairs, and I see him like turn the corner, so I follow him there, and he goes into this room, and in the back of the room there was this big picture frame, and it kind of looked like paper mache, like all blue, but it had levels. So like behind it, kind of looking like a little portal into another dimension. And he's like, go for it. He kind of gives me that look like, yeah man, jump in. So I was like, okay. And I jump in, and all of a sudden I'm back at the beginning of the dream where I'm just walking down the street, but it feels different, it feels like. So I keep walking. I'm like, okay, well, let's go look for that party. And it's I see that there's this skaters at the skate park again, but now they're all older, and there's less of them, but they're pretty good. They're like definitely hitting the skate park a lot harder, doing difficult tricks, but there's just less and less of them, maybe half as many. And I go to that spot where they were smoking weed before, and now they're way more casual, and they like hand me a joint. They're like, yeah, man, here you go, enjoy. And I was like, sweet, And so I go to that party, and this time it's more of like a graduation party, and it's for that same guy who was like studying physics, and he's like, it's everyone's like celebration, congratulations. And he's standing there, and he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to try to specialize in space-time and try to, follow in the footsteps of Einstein and try to, understand more about this reality and how time works. And again, I see that guy at the top of the stairs, and I'm like, and this time I'm excited. I'm like, okay, let's go see what happens next, because I'm picking up on the trend. And so I go up the stairs, and I go into that room, and I see that frame again, and I jump right in. Again, right back to the beginning of the dream. And this time, the skate park is empty. There's only one skater there, but he's really, really good. Like, pro. And he's, like, giving, like, I could see him there, like, somber, like, respecting his, like, fallen skaters, people who can't be there to skate with him, and he's much older. And like, I go back to that spot in the back of the park where they were smoking, and now there's nobody, but there's like joints just like scattered on the floor. And I'm like, what? This is crazy. So I pick one up, put it in my pocket, and then I get back to that party, and now it's like this like fancy, everyone's suit and ties, full black tie celebration. And that guy, he's in the back, and he's talking about space and time, and he's like, yeah, man, I think time is very linear. It goes from point A to point B. And I was like, I don't know, man, maybe time is like a toroid. Maybe it loops back on itself, and there is no real beginning, and there is no real end. I don't even know where that came from. I just like felt it due to this like experience I kept having. And his mind like lit right up, and it like all these triggers and like calculations, and he like gave me that like look of like, that makes a lot of sense. And so I smile at him, and I just walk back up the stairs looking for that portal room. And the initial childlike character shapeshifter, he's not there anymore. So I'm like, where's he at? And I look for the portal room, and I open it up, and I see it, and I jump in, and then I wake up. That was the end of the dream. But that dream, it was so vivid and like so real. That's definitely like a top dream. I got a lot of insight from that, especially the like how time might be toroidal, might be infinite, might be feeding back on itself in some way. Yeah, I like that dream. Also, one of my other favorite dreams, for a long time I was just having dreams where I was like at a festival, and I would just be dancing and partying and playing with fire and talking to all these cool people, and then I would wake up and be like, oh, I wasn't at this festival. Yeah, so it's like you can use dreams as tools, but also for fun, to learn, but also to just relax. Some other favorite dreams were definitely ones where I had a dream where all of a sudden I was at a theme park, and I was like, there's no way I'm at a theme park. I must be dreaming. and then I noticed a bunch of people walking by, and they like looked at me, and then they continued on. So I got this feeling like, yeah, definitely in a dream, but I gotta, be quiet about it, And so I just, I thought, what would be cool to happen right now if everybody just started oming, right? So it was like a packed theme park. So I just started oming, and just om, and as I was oming, everyone started this like huge sea of ohms, and it just like was so loud, and it got louder and louder and louder. It was incredible. I could feel it still like vibrating me now. It was wild. And it just made me so excited to just be in this like huge place with this like huge sea of people ohming. And I remember having that dream and then trying to like take that experience out into the real world and like start my own like sea of ohms, my own like chanting of ohms. And a couple times it worked. I remember starting a chain at a couple festivals. It was so fun. Just like hearing it. Oh, I loved it. That was a good one. And yeah, I still keep track of my dreams, and I try to write down a few dreams here and there, ones that really make me laugh, ones that kind of give me insight into different either meditations that I've been having, or different ideas I've been stumbling on, or maybe different opportunities that might present themselves to me, and like what I should do. And so I use dreams as like a little guidance tool, as a little compass sometimes. So yeah, trust yourself, and trust your dreams, and share with me some of your dreams. I'd love to hear about them. I'm excited to keep this podcast going. This one's a bit shorter. It's just a little insight, little recipe on trying to improve your dream state and how to see dreams differently. So I hope you liked it. I'm gonna get back to Jamaica and see if I can get some cool interviews, some cool philosophy talks going. I've already gotten some cool insights, so I'll be sure to share those with you on my upcoming episodes. So yeah, keep it real, keep trusting, keep loving each other, and follow me. You can follow me on Instagram at I.t.y.g _forever. All right. Ciao.